Do 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 do. Hello, everybody. It's Cameron from Venus Theory, and I'm trying to get my chat and stuff up. Callie is in the background brushing her teeth. I've got my bottle of wine and stuff, and we are going to check out the new Arturia Pigments 2 update. So, in case you're not aware, Arturia Pigments is a synthesizer thing, kind of like a sort of better version of Serum in a way, but kind of different. And Pigments itself is okay. I wasn't really a huge fan of it, although I did create some of the wavetables that are in it. But Pigments 2 is now out, and it's a totally free update if you already own Pigments, so you can go download that right now from the Arturia Software Center or whatever it's called. Otherwise, it's on sale for like $100. There was like a little bit of confusion on the pricing. I think it was like $49 or $100, but I don't know. I see on the website it's $100, but if you already own Arturia stuff and you log in, you'll get a different price. So maybe that's the deal with it. So let's go ahead and I suppose let's check out the update page to talk a little bit about it. All right, good. It looks like chat's working. Is chat working in here? It looks like it is working. Sweet. Okay. So Pigments, Polychrome Software Synthesizer. In case you are wondering, tonight I am drinking Apothic Dark. It's pretty good stuff. And then I've got my nice big old cup of water too. So Arturia Pigments is a polychrome software synthesizer. I have no idea what that is. So 20 years in the making, wavetable, virtual analog, granular, sampling. So yeah, one of the big updates is it has a granular engine now, which is pretty cool. And it sounds really good. I did have about an hour and a half with it the other night to kind of explore, but I didn't dive all that deep into it. I just kind of checked out, the bullet points, but it does look pretty neat. Hundreds of samples, import your own, load them, one of 6 different slots, 6 different playback modes, loop, edit, and bring them to life with Pigments modulation abilities, which I will say I do like the modulation to Pigments. I think it's actually pretty nice. New synth mode, granular synth patches, density envelope, oh yeah, and randomization, which is fun. The sequencer is actually really nice, which we'll show that. New filter and delay. We added the iconic sound of the Buchla easel low pass gate and a space age taped echo. So I guess that's just like the, I don't know, Echoplex or something, space echo. Blah, blah, blah. New presets, refined features. New interface, MPE capability, which I don't have an MPE controller, damn it. Undo, redo functionality, enhance modulation bar. And yeah, it looks like that's it. So I guess let's maybe dive through some of the new Pigments 2 presets. But yeah, so $199 normally, $99 to get it right now until January 7th. There's a free trial. Otherwise, if you already have Pigments, you can get it for free. I just downloaded the update and it, took like 5 minutes to download. All right, what's going on in chat? I was thinking about buying the synth stoked to see how it works now. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of the original release, but it's actually a fun little synth. What I like is the randomization, which is probably what we'll show off. And the modulation, I like the way it works. Berserker, hi, hello. Tony Thomas, where are you located? I am located in central Illinois, way down in the middle in the parts no one cares about. I live outside the woods. Well, I live in the woods, but, in the part no one cares about. There's corn, trees. 69 if you own Minilab. Yeah, so if you have Arturia stuff already, like V Collection or whatever, you'll get a discounted price, as with most of their deals. Nino, yo. Hater6, glad to see you doing some live. Hey, what's going on, man? Release version 2, gotta get on that. Really like your content. Thanks, dude. Yeah, so this is Pigments 2. So, basically, Pigments itself, it was this analog mode, and then you had a wavetable mode. That was pretty much it, and it was okay. What I liked most is the randomization. So, as a quick example of like a Pigments patch, so let's say we have this right now, which is a pretty standard synth patch. What I liked most about it, we can actually just turn all of these to sample and hold. So what we could do is quickly apply randomization to create like cool generative style patches. So we could assign this to the coarse tuning, enable quantization, and then we could quantize this to, let's just do A minor. And then, actually, no, let's quantize this to like a C, I don't know, something interesting. So right now, if I hold down a note, which is pretty neat, and I really like the way that that works. So random 2, we could tie that to perhaps the cutoff, and then we could apply, I don't know, random 3, we could hook that up to the, I don't know, the sync, I guess. No, we can't do anything with that. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so you can sit here and just do stuff like that, which is actually pretty cool. And it's got some nice effects. I think this is probably the new delay, maybe. Oh, no, that's not. It's just delay. So, yeah, we could throw on a nice delay and a reverb. So it's a decent sounding synth. I just didn't find the original version to be all that exciting. And the sequencer I actually never used. So, whatever. But, you get a pretty decent array of wavetables and stuff. So it's just a pretty standard, wavetable synth. I didn't find it all that exciting. I think most of these are actually my wavetables that I made for it. I don't know. I feel like I remember this one. And there's one other one. I think this one. But yeah, I think it's most of the ones in Processed actually made some of these, which is kind of cool. You can import your own and then, whatever. So Pigments 2 adds the ability to have samples now. So if we do that, we have like a piano sample, which, sounds okay. We could do piano, electric piano. And then what's cool though is now we get granular, and these are tied to randomization. So we could do something like this now. Which actually sounds pretty damn good. One thing I want to try really quick is actually, can we just like drag something right in, or do we have to import it the long way? Because I remember when I was messing about with this, it was kind of a pain in the ass. Where's my decomposition? Let's just grab a vocal. Oh, sick. I'm glad they included that. I hate when you have to like go through your like Windows file browser to drag in samples or sounds to a synth. That drives me nuts. Okay. And we could randomize. Let's sample and hold and sample and hold. Let's see. Set all these to hertz. So I can't see through my phone. Hi, Callie. Did you brush your teeth? What a good girl. Isn't she a good girl? Thank you for brushing your teeth. Now you won't stink. Okay. So let's apply some randomy stuff. Let's tie one to the time. Perhaps another to the start. And number 3 to the shape. And we could do a really slow LFO, perhaps. Let's see, let's tie that LFO to filter cutoff. Ideally, I just want to try and make a nice granular pad. That's kind of what I'm going for right now. What LFO did I just tie to that? Oh, I'm a dumbass. hertz. Okay, so real slow. Just want that kind of barely moving around. Okay. Whatever, let's add that new tape echo. Input volume is just gonna, let's do ping pong. And a nice reverb. And we can perhaps throw, oh, maybe a light chorus on the end. Let's see. Sounds good to me. Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's pretty smooth. Let's move this sample somewhere else. It's actually not a bad sounding granular engine. Let's throw something slightly more difficult into it. Sure. Let's get rid of those effects, actually. Boop, boop. And then let's CC the start position. Oh yeah, you got to do it that way. Okay, so I'm going to move this around and see if we get any weird artifacts. Because sometimes with like weirder Foley stuff, you can start to notice some weirdness. Cool. So this is, I think this is randomization of the start, yeah? So it's a random offset for the grain playback. Okay, so let's try another, excuse me. Let's try another vocal. I just love granular vocals. I just think it sounds so sick. You know, that is a damn good granular engine. I actually really like that. Like, I could probably sit here and just make pads all day. I want to compare that to Falcon really quick, if we can. I don't think there's anything going on in here we can't really do in Falcon. Okay, let's try that really quick. So, because I really love the granular stuff inside of Falcon, and that's always kind of what I compare stuff to. Okay, so give me IRCam multi-granular. Boop. Trim that up a bit. Okay, so what did I assign? So these are all just sample and hold, and we can just make a sample and glide in Falcon, I think. We have a low pass 24, so we should set that up. So let's just do a filter. We'll do the expander filter, low pass, 4-pole, add modulation, LFO, And there she be. And it just needs to move around a teeny tiny bit. Yeah, whatever, something. Make it real slow. And I don't know how many grains we've got going on in pigments here. There was something about limit. Is that limiting the number of active grains? Grains that can be played simultaneously. Okay, so we'll ballpark it in Falcon and call it just 8. I think is the max. And then after I do this, I will look at chat because I see that's going nuts. Okay, so 300 milliseconds, density, a little over noon. Okay. So let's call the density, because this is the starting point. So let's call the density there, size of about 300 milliseconds. A lot of jitter, some duration variation, random position. I don't really, was there a way to control the speed within pigments? Not really. Okay, I guess we'll just leave the speed as is. Loop forward, backward. Okay, so let's compare. And we need a, just like a rando delay. Okay, so a tape echo. And then I don't know, just a generic spark verb, I guess. Probably about 4-second decay time. Sure. Okay, let's compare. So this right now is pigments. Oh, no synth sound. God damn it. Sorry about that. Okay, pigments. Falcon? The pitch is weird. I think both of those are pretty quiet. Let me toss on a limiter. Sorry about that. Okay, and let's just pop both of these guys to 0. Come on. Okay, pigments. God damn it. Falcon. Sound pretty much identical to me. Pigments is maybe a bit smoother. Oh my god, Bitwig, stop it. I would say it's pretty neck and neck. Let me try and tweak that filter inside of Falcon. Okay, that's pretty much the same cutoff point. Okay, let's try this one more time. I'm gonna close this. Okay, so pigments. Falcon. That's really damn close, and I'm impressed because I really love the granular stuff inside of Falcon. Really sorry the sound wasn't working. I'm still kind of getting used to like this new setup and stuff, and I had that muted, and I just totally forgot. Anyways, yeah, that sounds really, really good. I wonder. There must be like more grains or something, because it just sounds ever so slightly smoother than Falcon to my ear, but not by much. So maybe there's like, I don't know, 10 grains or something. It just sounds like a little bit more dense. I'll have to read about that, because is there... So we can limit this down to 3. Okay, so let's limit this to 8. Because that's the number of grains that can be played. Oh, wow. Okay, let's turn this size randomization down a bit. So if we up that to like 10, well, 12, whatever. 256? Seems a little bit overkill. I don't know, my brain is like seeing only maybe 10 or 12 grains there. Actually, before we move on to something else, I want to see in terms of like DSP performance here. Who's better? So let's hold out a 3-note chord. So Falcon wins, hands down. Falcon is, damn, that's probably like half. Not surprised though, Falcon's like efficient as shit. But Pigments sounds really, really good. So, way to be, Arturia. Okay, let's go through some Pigments 2 presets, what do you say? Again, I really apologize for that audio not working. I'm still kind of trying to figure out this whole new interface I bought. Okay, let's try some presets. So that's utilizing 2 different sample engines here. And we got a bit crush. That sounds pretty good. Let's just go through the preset browser. Lo-fi piano. Okay. Exodar. Not bad. Electric guitar solo. I just kind of hate that. Okay, Cyanoid Granular Lab. That was the dumbest sound I've heard. I always hate those like sampled guitar sounds. Abstract wind suction. So this is granular something. And Wobble spring, okay. I want to write a track with that. I like that sound. Okay. Let's do some sound effects. What is this? Beach days. Foxhole. That one actually sounds kind of cool. I haven't heard a string yet. Choral strings. Okay, 7 a.m. Female, Tootie. Tootie fucking fruity. God, I need to watch the new, what was the new Devil's Rejects called? Free the Three. That was the big marketing campaign. I don't know. I love the Rob Zombie, like, Devil's Rejects movies, though. I need to watch whatever the new one is, because I haven't seen it yet. ASMR Gears. Okay. Kind of sounds like a transformer after some bad Taco Bell to me, but all right. Behemoth Keys. That's it. Okay. Let's listen to some more pads. Okay. Let's do some bass. That sounds dumb. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I want it to do... Give me something cool. Okay. Oh, Ultra Carlos. Every time I hear Carlos, I just think of that scene in The Hangover. Oh, Carlos is jerking his wiener. That's a cool filter type there. What's going on here? That's the phase filter. Yeah, phaser filter. If we crank the poles on that. Yeah. dog. And let's FM this from... Why can I not do FM from the wavetable, though? That's kind of sick. I don't like the distortion on it, but... Boring. Battle horn. It's not really a brass, though. Okay. Really, you only highlighted 2 with your Arturia stamp? Okay. That's nice. I like that filter going on there. Just a straight up low pass. Matrix 12, that must be why. What wavetable is that? Pro pulse width. That's a nice sounding bass. Okay, let's take a look at chat, shall we? Okay. Jesus. Why does YouTube like block emojis in the chat? Hopefully Pigments 3 will be a major upgrade from this. I don't think it's worth the money. Stick with Pigments 1 for now. Well, if you already have Pigments, it's a free update. Yeah, I don't know that the granular engine alone really warrants buying it, though. I mean, I suppose if you don't have like a wavetable synth and you don't have a granular synth, you know, for $100, that's not bad. But for $100, you could also buy the Reason 11 VST. So there's that. Falcon is more, yeah. No, like I said, I really like the sound of Falcon's granular engine. I haven't really found anything else that's like similar to it. But this sounds pretty good, you know, like it's not terrible, but it's not, you know, really mind blowing. But it's, I think it is cool that they added it. I will give them that. You know, I think that makes Pigments a little more worth checking out. Because to me, it was just kind of another like wavetable synth, which like, you know, whoop-de-doo, there's like 30 billion of them out there. I do like the interface though. Like I like this little modulation bar because it reminds me of Cypher from FX Expansion, which I really like that modulation workflow. I think with MPE in mind, that's a pretty cool thing. But to that point, you know, Falcon also supports MPE. So to me, there's not really a big draw to Pigments for MPE support, but that is cool to keep in mind. Beyond that, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. I never really used this function thing, but I suppose now is a good time, though, to check out the... what are my user presets? Because, yeah, I made some, like, rando presets for something. But these were made for Pigments 1, and that was, like, the stuff I could get out of it. Yeah, those were like some random presets I made for it. But yeah, let's play with this sequencer. Okay, template, default. Okay, so what do you do? Pitch. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's really cool. Okay. That's kind of cool. So what else can we do with this? Randomize arpeggiator, rate, apply swing, polyrhythm, gate length, rate divider. So we can, that's kind of neat. So we could rate divide velocity over, or slide over 4. Okay. Go. Okay, let's set this to art mode. How... We can't make that like unipolar, can we? That's too bad. Maybe there was a way to do it, but... It's hard not to be impressed by that. I think that sounds really good. And that's a really cool sequencer, and the randomization is incredibly handy. I really like that about it, and I like the rate division function. So I do wonder, it seems to stop here after 8. So is there... Am I missing something to make it go the full 16, or does it just not care? Oh, and this is our undo. Oh, and you get a full like history of the changes you made to a patch. That's kind of neat, rather than just undo and redo. Huh. That's not bad. Is there anything else we're missing? New filter and delay. Oh, the Buchla low pass and the delay. Should probably check that out. Okay. Low pass gate. It's not the button I meant to click. So I'm not really an expert on Buchla, but that's cool. You could set it to be just a low pass or just a VCA or both. So that's cool. I don't really understand that this is something that's like modeled after something. It seems like a pretty standard idea. It's a low pass that also functions as a VCA, but okay. Neat. I suppose for like your future-based chord wubbies, that's probably handy, but I don't really do anything with future-based, so beyond that, I'm not sure that's all that interesting. And then we get the new delay. So let's switch this guy to tape echo. Okay, so regular delay, what do you sound like? I'm an idiot and both of them are enabled. Regular delay. Tape delay. Okay, not mad at that. Let's do a ping pong. Okay. What is intensity? Is that just feedback? Yep. What if we crank the input volume? Just get more saturated. Fine tune. Jesus, that goes on for a really long time. It's a nice sounding delay though. What if we put a reverb before that? Big long reverb. Shame there's not a filter included. I'd like a low pass and a high pass filter inside of that. Whatever. And ye old overdrive after the delay and reverb. Oh, fuck. How do you adjust the tension curve? Okay. I don't know. All right. And let's do the matrix 12 filter. Okay, envelope 2, do ya thing. Envelope 2, electric boogaloo. Taking it to the streets. Are you dreaming, Callie? Give me a sample. An acoustic guitar? Sure. Why not? Granular. I remember my mom was telling me something about this, how to pronounce that word. I always called it Gaussian, but she said it was like Gaussian or something weird because she's a math teacher. Mom, if you ever see this, you're a nerd. No, please don't ever let my mother see that because she'll kick my ass. Okay, let's do, I don't know, just some like rando LFO to the sample. Start. Set this to Hertz, set this to free running. What do we get? God, I love that matrix filter so much. I guess let's feed a random rate to Hertz, random 1 to the cutoff. Let's up the poles. Okay. You've got to admit, that sounds really fucking good. That sounds really fucking good. Okay, let's combine that with, I don't know, let's combine that with like some kind of wavetable. Excuse me. Okay, maybe not that one. That one looks a wee bit spiky. Something a little more smooth. Yeah, fuck it. That looks okay. Set this to hertz. Free running. Oh my god. I bought this new mouse, and I don't know if you can see it. I bought this new mouse, and it's like a vertical mouse because my wrist like really started to hurt, and I feel like sometimes it doesn't really track that well, and it drives me insane. Okay, so this is that same sound, but with a wavetable going on. I'm gonna try that with the electric guitar. I feel like the electric guitar and that wavetable would probably work well together. Let's do the clean electric guitar. And let's tighten up that sample. I'm not mad at that. I like that. Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Pigments is a plugin with its own host. Someone already answered that. Sorry for the delay looking at chat. What's more important when it comes to pushing the limits of granular, the processor or the RAM? I am not a DSP person, so I'm probably not the exact person to answer this. However, typically I find that granular synthesis is generally speaking more stressful on your CPU than it is your RAM, because normally your sample is loaded into the RAM and the CPU is doing all the granular synth calculation stuff. If there's someone in the stream that knows more about DSP, they'd probably be more qualified to answer that more definitively. I like the look of the GUI. Never heard of it before. Yeah, Pigments is, like I said, version 1 kind of went under my radar. I played around with it, and I wasn't all that impressed. I'm not a big wavetable guy. You know, I think I've said that many times before. But, you know, version 2 here, this sounds goddamn good. So I will give it to Arturia that I'm probably going to seriously have to give this a more in-depth second look. 3 from Hell, that was it. Night 2255, yeah, that's the movie I haven't seen yet. How do y'all think Pigment compares to Falcon? I mean, I'm sure you know my answer. I really love Falcon. In my test here, the granular engine in Falcon is more efficient, which I'm not surprised. Falcon's a very efficient synthesizer. If I had to pick, my choice is obviously going to be Falcon because I think you can do a lot more with it. And I mean, with the, the Falcon Punch, add-on script library you can download for free for Falcon. You can get those same kind of random generative things out of Falcon. So my choice would still be Falcon. However, this is a damn good synth, and I really like the sound of those filters, and it does offer a good degree of randomization parameters that I think would arguably make it more useful and powerful than something like Serum. And on sale for $100, not a bad deal. Just bought it for €49. I like it, but it can sound a little thin. Yeah, that was always my thing with version 1. I couldn't get a sound out of it that I was like, oh, I really dig that. You know what I mean? And I think when it comes to generally like subtractive synth patches and like wavetable-y patches, I usually go to Dune 3. And there's just something about the filters of Dune 3 that I really, really like, and something about the way Dune 3 sounds that I really like. And it's just one of those like vague producer things I can't really describe. It just sounds like fuller. You know what I mean? Reason 11 intro doesn't come with grain. Okay, so I suppose then that would probably be a good point, because yeah, Reason... What does that cost now? Because that was on sale, I think, was the price. Sorry, it was like a really long day. If I want to buy Reason right now. Okay, so you're looking at $399. Arguably, though, at full price, at $199 for just Pigments versus $399 for Reason 11, I would say that's a pretty obvious choice. But, like Pigments is pretty goddamn good. I will give it that. I can't really complain. G asked, how do you think this compares to Rapid besides the granular stuff? If I had to pick, I would pick Rapid. And as I mentioned in my review about Rapid, I think that's because I have the Novation Peak, so I'm pretty biased to the way that Rapid operates. And I really like the way Rapid reminds me of my Peak. And, does things that my Peak does, but does them in the DAW and does more things than my Peak can actually do. If I had to pick, I would probably go with Rapid. And I really like the resynthesis mode of Rapid as well, and that's something that Pigments is not really going to do. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. In a way, it's kind of apples and oranges, because like Pigments is going to offer more, in terms of like the randomization stuff than Rapid is going to. But Rapid also has, 32 modulation slots per layer across 8 layers and a per layer effects strip. So I suppose it comes down to you and your workflow and what you like to do. If you like randomized stuff, Pigments probably. If you like a lot of mod matrix slots, then I would, go with Rapid. Gorilla got it for $69 for a crossgrade. Okay, let's look at that really quick, because what's the deal with the pricing? So $99 by now. So I don't know if you're still watching, but like what was the crossgrade? Like, did you already have Pigments? Because I got it for free and I already had Pigments. Free trial by now. Let me sign into my account here. I wonder if it gives me a different price. Wait, what? Okay, hold up. So it's going to charge me $69 even though I downloaded it for free. So Gorilla, if you're still watching, I would contact their support. I got this for free because I already own Pigments. If you already owned Pigments and you paid $69, I would contact support and get a refund, because that's No, because I used the Arturia Software Center is what I used. So you can go through that to download it for free. I would contact their support and get a refund. That's interesting. Because yeah, I saw on Twitter people were talking about it was $50, and then I saw people say no, it's 100, and then yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But I think they put out a tweet or something though that said like, you know, we're having some issues with our licensing system or whatever. Michael Lohmeyer, you need to get an MPE keyboard. It is on my list at some point, but I currently don't really have much space in this setup to add an MPE keyboard. Hi, Callie. What do you think of Pigments 2, Callie? What are your thoughts? What do you think of the new granular engine? The multi-layer sample support as well? Yeah. You have a very pretty sweater. Oh, yeah. Are you a pretty lady? Okay. She's a ham. I think they can still call Pigments 2 just Pigments. Yeah, you know, I would agree with that, because honestly, like, if Pigments 1 came out as this version is with this granular engine and the sample support, you know, I think I would have been, I don't know, impressed is the wrong word, but I would have been more supportive of the initial release. But I'm glad they updated it to feature what they have. Let me add the chat back in here. Yeah, I'm glad they added in support for samples and stuff, and the granular engine. I think that adds a bit more capability to it. Oh, Gorilla didn't own it. Okay. Let's try and skip ahead here in chat. I do notice a lot of the presets sound distorted. Are you clipping, or is that the signature sound of the factory presets? That's a good question, Greedo Kenobi. Let's find out. I don't know that I'm clipping because I have a limiter on the master. Let's just grab a random preset. I don't want a template. Go. Okay, this one. Let's see, is that really pushing my limiter? I think I hear what you mean, though. Let's try and find one that sounds like really distorted. Okay, like that one. Is that pushing? No? What's the master section look like? I don't know, maybe they just have the... Do they have the distortion on a lot of the presets? Wave folder. I don't know. I kind of hear what you mean, though, but I don't know, maybe that's just the way the sound engine works or something. I just stepped into a huge pile of awesome. Thanks. One of the other things I like about the upgrade is that the random section, you have the ability to choose what engine you want instead of just having one of each. Yeah, I noticed that, and I really like that because the the Turing engine was a bit more useful for kind of creating, like, I don't know, plucky, pretty backgroundy stuff. And it was nice to have that as versus just a straight up sample and hold, because it's like I can do that with a lot of other synthesizers, and not a lot of them offer like a Turing. I don't know, what would you call it? Like an LFO, I suppose. But it's pretty cool. The history list is super handy. It is actually. Like, I think that's actually a pretty badass feature, and I think a lot of synths could use something like that. Man, YouTube is like censoring all my comments. Can you not say fuck in the comments anymore? Everyone just start typing fuck. had Pigments for ages. No idea why I never used it. All these Pigments 2 demos that I've seen sound amazing. I think it is a very good sounding synthesizer. And I think if I didn't have things like Falcon or Reason, I probably would use it a lot more. If I had to pick between some of the popular synths, like let's say Serum and I don't know, Massive or something, like I guess those are kind of your two big names, I would definitely go Pigments between the two. But the thing with Serum, though, is you get some interesting warp modes and some more interesting filters. So, I don't know, it kind of just depends on like what kind of sound you want to make. But I don't know, if I was going to purchase one of the big synths, I would probably go Pigments instead of like Serum or Massive. But again, that's heavily based on just like what I look for in a synth and what I like to do with synths and stuff. Been making a shit ton of Future Garage pads with it since it came out yesterday. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I can make some hellacious pads with this, as I do in Falcon. Like, it's nice, though, that Pigments can now do, like, what I do in Falcon. Not exactly, but, I mean, you know, in terms of, like, some granular pads and stuff, I think Pigments is a good way to make a similar sound to what I would make a lot. Presumably, you can load your own samples. Yes. Price notwithstanding, if you had a choice between Peak and Rapid, what would you do? I would go with the Peak over Rapid. And that's mostly because my Peak is not going to go out of date. Like, it's just going to work. And also, like I've talked about before on streams, if I just want to like walk in here in the like middle of the night because I can't sleep and I just want to like dink about with a synthesizer, I can, you know, I can hook that up without having to like boot up everything. In terms of just sheer power, I would say software is pretty much always going to be more powerful than hardware anymore. However, there are certain things within the hardware world, especially considering modular, that you just can't emulate in software. So, you know, there's a bit of give and take to both. I definitely would say software is always going to be cheaper as, you know, a price point than hardware. But like I said, you know, I can come in here and turn this on and play with it. And also just, you know, it's nice to have a thing to touch and see and not, you know, look at my screen while I'm trying to do stuff too. One of the guys doing DSP for Rapid has also put up some absurdly great sound demos of it. Oh yeah, there's a channel I found when I was researching stuff for the Rapid review. It was I want to say his name was Mark, maybe. Are you sure the free download was not a demo? Probably a stupid question, but just in case. It is not a demo. This is a full version of Pigments 2 because I already owned Pigments 1. So within the Arturia Software Center, I just hit update and it updates to Pigments 2. So if you already have Pigments, this is absolutely free. You do not have to pay for it. Even though on the website it says I do have to pay for it, you do not. So I might tweet Arturia about that just to be one of those people that like bitches on Twitter about things. Everyone's typing fuck in the comments. The basses in particular sound a bit distorted. Maybe I'll try that out in a sec. I bought Rapid instead. I have Hive 2, which is great. I've heard really good things about Hive. I tried a demo of it, but didn't buy it. But I don't know. Like, I just have so many VSTs anymore that I just really don't need anything else, especially in terms of synthesizers. I'm always down to mess with new effects, but like synthesizers, I kind of have my things that I like and I just want to stick with them. However, you know, Rapid like really surprised me. I didn't think I was going to like Rapid just because I never really heard much about it. So I assumed it was just another thing. But, you know, once I was like, oh shit, it's my Novation Peak, but it's 8 of them, I was stoked. Definitely prefer Rapid over Avenger. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, and I've never tried Avenger, so I don't really have a direct comparison between the two. But, you know, Avenger looks damn powerful. but I really like Rapid. I mostly like Rapid because you can also use it as an effect, and I really like the chorus and the reverb in it. Dozicus Maximus, so worth it for $50. I don't have Serum. I do have Falcon, but I need to learn it. Pigments looks a little more straightforward. I would say that's a really good point. I mean, I can't speak to your financial situation, obviously, but you know, if you have $50 to spare, I think Pigments is okay. I mean, like you said, it's a very straightforward thing, and I would definitely see your point there in that Pigments is going to be certainly easier to pick up and get a sound out of than Falcon is, because Falcon is designed to be extremely deep. Obviously, Falcon is going to do a fuckload more than Pigments is ever going to do. But, you know, yeah, there is that it's just a bit more accessible. So if you don't have, you don't have Serum. So, I mean, I would get Pigments for $50. You know, I would say it's worth that. I would more than get $50 worth of use out of it, especially just from a sound design perspective. Like, I could sit here and make some pads and ARPs and stuff out of it, sample them out, and I could, you know, sell those as sample packs or whatever and make my $50 back in a week. Or, you know, less than that, really. So, yeah, I mean, I would say Pigments is worth $50 for sure. But, yeah, if you don't have Serum, definitely I would get Pigments just for something that's a bit, you know, faster and accessible. And arguably, like I said, with the randomization parameters and stuff, I personally would find this more useful than I would Serum. And you get a really, really good sounding granular engine. And granular stuff, I just like the sound of, so there is that. Rapid looks really cool as well. I love Rapid, so up to you. I would try the demos for both. Like I said, if I had to pick between the two, I would go Rapid, but again, I'm pretty heavily biased on that. Just because I really like my Novation Peak a lot. Falcon is pretty hard for me to learn. I'm not that technical, though. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some tutorials and stuff on Falcon again soon in the new year. It's also going to make several appearances, probably in the future Garage series I'm working on right now, which is going to start next week. Michael, I bought Rapid due to your review, but I also have a summit coming. Looking forward to comparing them software versus hardware. Dude, you're lucky. I would love to have a summit. I really like. I went to KnobCon in Chicago, and I went to KnobCon right after I bought an Arturia Matrix Brute. And I went to KnobCon, and the Novation rep was there and showed me the new firmware update for the Peak, which enhanced like the modulation and stuff. And I was like, well, shit, you know, this thing's basically my Matrix Brute, but more powerful because it's like an 8-voice poly, plus it has wavetables and stuff. And I fucking love this thing. And then they had the Summit there. And of course, I want the Summit. Like, I would love to have a Summit, but, you know, like my wallet does not agree with what I want most of the time. But yeah, no, the Summit's a badass synthesizer. But again, like I said, hardware to me, the biggest thing is I can use that whenever I want. And if Windows has an update and is fucking stupid or something, you know, my Peak doesn't care. I just plug it into my interface and away I go. But, you know, yeah, there's advantages to both, I would say. I'm probably about to buy Rapid based on your video. You should get yourself a referral link. Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes get referral links for stuff, but I'm not that picky about getting it just because I don't really care. You know, like I make enough at like my jobs and stuff that, you know, it doesn't really bother me. But, you know, it is cool sometimes though to get to like represent a company in a more official capacity, because I'm actually going to be going to NAMM. If any of you guys are going to NAMM in January, I'm going to be there for PSP, so that's pretty dope. But, you know, I mean, rather than a referral link, I would just have kind of like, I would prefer to have just more of a relationship with the company. I think it's cool to promote their stuff and check out stuff. And, you know, like I've said a bazillion times, like I'm just blown away at how this channel has grown. Just like, I can't be more excited just for like, I get to sit here and play with shit all day. Like, that's the coolest fucking thing ever. Avon, Rapid as an effects plugin, like Serum Effects. I have Rapid, but didn't know. Yes, so you can use Rapid as Rapid Effects, which is fucking dope. I love the reverb in Rapid. I use it all the time. Good afternoon, Venus Theory. Did you take a look at the new Expressive E Osmos? Do you have some thoughts about it? I did see the reviews. Expressive E, I actually have their string collection, which I was gonna film a review about, but I haven't. I don't think I'm going to. I'm not gonna get into that. But I did see their Osmos thing. They sent me the press release like a couple days before it came out, and it looks really, really cool. I think it's a really interesting way to approach like the MPE thing. I thought it looked a bit weird, but once I saw people playing it and actually utilizing it, I think it's really, really cool. Price-wise, hard to say. A lot of MPE controllers are just pretty expensive just because of what they are. I need to like trim my hair. I like just got a haircut, but this thing going on is bothering me. But yeah, the Osmos thing, I think it's cool. I personally would probably wait for the price to go down just a little bit. I think it's a bit steep for what it is, but I think it is pretty damn neat. If you're watching this and you haven't heard of the Osmos, I would look it up. It's a pretty cool new controller that just came out. As someone who already has pigments and phase plant, would spending for Falcon be worth it? I would say yes. And I would say yes because Falcon, as a sampler, I don't know that there's anything that beats it. And Phase Plant can do samples, but not really in the same way Falcon can. Because, I mean, Falcon is kind of contact, and like contact and Phase Plant are two very, very different things. In terms of raw synthesis capabilities, I would say Phase Plant is, I don't know, arguably more powerful than Falcon. But Falcon also has so many different synthesis engines in it, including a really excellent granular engine. So I would say Falcon is worth it just as an investment for sound design purposes. Falcon is not going to be as instantly accessible as Phase Plant, but Falcon isn't like just stupid fucking powerful in terms of like what it can do. Phase Plant is also really powerful. And there's some really cool updates on the way, but yeah, I would say Falcon no matter what. Like if you don't own it, you should buy Falcon because it's a dope ass sampler. It's a really killer sound design tool. I use it all the time, and as just a sampler plus synthesis engine, it's nuts. Like it's really, really cool. And the modulation abilities and stuff, it's very similar to Phase Plant in that it has this very deep semi-modular architecture to it. The random looks really cool in Pigments. Turing Machine looks cool. Love some Eurorack stuff. That first pad and Rapid demo was delicious. Yeah. Since you love reverb so much, have you ever messed with 2C audio stuff? I saw a comment about that. Maybe you wrote that same comment. I haven't replied to my comments in a couple days. I need to do that. I have not messed with the 2C audio stuff because I saw that comment notification pop up on my phone and I wrote it down in my notebook to look them up. So I haven't messed with them, but I'm going to check them out. Does Pigments come with V Collection? No, it does not. Pigments is a separate thing. I don't really know why, but Pigments is just a totally separate product. But at the moment, it's only $100. You mess with orchestral samples at all? I picked up Heaviosity stuff Black Friday. Really good or cool sounds going on. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mess with orchestral sounds here and there. I have a couple contact libraries that I really like. Is this the tooltip thing? Okay. But one of my favorite libraries for orchestral stuff is actually a free one, mostly because I like to use it for sound design stuff. So, yeah, one of my favorite libraries is actually in my SFZ files. This is a free orchestral library, and I love this for making pads and stuff. Because there's a couple in here that are like horns and stuff. Can't remember. There's one sample in here. I think it's the tuba. I don't know. It's one of these, but like, oh, whoops. That turned that into a wavetable. Was that available in Pigments 1? I don't remember dragging and dropping in Pigments 1, but that's kind of dope. Sample. So yeah, this is from a free library, and I really, really love this library for making stuff with granular synths. just for like sound design. You know, because that with like a nice filter on it. Yeah, but I mean, I really like organic sounds. As I'm sure you know if you've watched this channel for any period of time. I really like working with organic, natural sounds to create something kind of weird and messed up. May look at Falcon then. Yeah, no, dude, I would totally recommend it. Falcon is just badass, and there's like nothing out there that does what Falcon does. And especially, like I said earlier in the stream, in terms of efficiency, like Falcon is so stupid powerful, but it's not all that taxing, like relatively speaking, compared to other synthesizers. So like like with that in mind, Falcon's probably one of the most powerful things you can have, because you can ultimately load more instances of Falcon within a single session. So you could, technically speaking, do more stuff with Falcon. But yeah, it's badass. 30% off at UVI. Oh, nice. That's still on sale. Falcon has a SFP rating. Stupid fucking powerful. Yeah, no, for sure. SFZ. I need to dig through the internet for some of those. But meaning to do that. Also, yes, about the 2C Auto stuff. Yeah, no. So it is in my notebook. I'm going to check out those reverbs because I've never heard of them before. That orchestral library, in case you did get Pigments 2 and want to mess with that, is... Let me look this up here. Vercillion Studios. I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, community edition. Let me pop this in the chat. So that is the orchestral library I was talking about here, that has all these different samples, and really useful for like sound design and stuff. I use these all the time. Complex doesn't really scare me, so there's that. Yeah, no, for sure. If you're willing to like put time into a synthesizer and stuff, Falcon's like no-brainer for me. This looks much better than Pad Shop 2. I actually have Pad Shop 2, or not Pad Shop 2. I have the original Pad Shop, but that is a good comparison because Pad Shop was one of my other favorites before I really got into Falcon. Let's compare. Actually, fuck it. Let's compare all three because this is my stream and I do what I want. I'm Rick James, bitch. Sorry if my swearing offends you, but I recently learned that swearing doesn't affect my monetization status for my streams, so I can say what I want. I say bad kid words. Sometimes Pad Shop doesn't load in Bitwig, though. And Pigments is not wanting to open either. Okay. Let's go ahead and reboot Bitwig. Oh, I can't shut down Bitwig. Bitwig must be totally frozen. Okay, let's reboot Bitwig and let's do Pad Shop, Falcon, and Pigments 2. Maybe Grain from Reason as well, because why not? Let it all out. Swearing in context is fine. Wow. Bitwig, like, totally froze on me there. That's interesting. I've never had that happen. I'm gonna have to, like, force quit Bitwig. Are you using the 3.1 beta? I am not. I'm using 3.03 because I'm streaming. Bitwig crashed the last time you used it. That's weird. If I had to guess, it was probably Pad Shop. Pad Shop always fucks things up for me. Okay, so Falcon. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Never mind. We can't do bad job. We already did Falcon versus Pigments. Yeah, I'm redoing my computer right now. I'm adding some more hard drives and stuff. Or, well, solid state drives. I'm switching out most of my hard drives for solid states, which I have another solid state I need to put in. But yeah, I pulled out my stupid e-licenser key because I'm just tired of that thing. So now I can't use any of my Cubase plugins. So that's great. So I guess let's do Pigments versus Falcon versus Reason Grain. And yeah, you know, the thing is, this thing right here, this is probably 70% of the reason I left Cubase, because that drives me fucking insane. Like, it was so annoying whenever I was like, oh, hey, you know, like talking to Alicia, like, hey, let's go work at Starbucks for a bit, because she's working on editing her videos or her modeling pictures or whatever. And I'm like, oh, let's go work at Starbucks. And then I grab my laptop. But like, if I want to use Cubase and all my shit on my laptop, I have to bring this stupid thing. And like, I don't want to bring this tiny ass thing everywhere I go. And especially hanging out, you know, the side of a laptop, this could just get snapped off and then I'm fucked. Like, everything is unusable. Or that, where I drop it, and now I can't find it. So, yeah. No, that e-licenser thing pisses me off. Okay, so let's do... And let's, once again, try and make this as straightforward as possible. So let's use the exact same sample and try and get the exact same settings. Just for a straight-up comparison of how does everyone sound. So SFZ files. Can we just get like a sustained violin? Well, let's maybe get a piano. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so sample bassoon E3, Falcon, bassoon E3, and this is going to be multi-granular. Well, we should probably do granular, because Reason Grain, reset device, and yeah, because this is only a handful of grains. I don't know, let's just call it 8 again, because I think between Falcon and Pigments, that was the closest we could get it, was using the multi-granular with 8. Okay, so let's do density 1 o'clock, size of, let's call it 500 milliseconds. No randomization or anything else applied. So density, thereabouts 500 milliseconds, because that's the maximum. Reason, I guess we'll max that out, and I guess we'll call that good. Okay. So this is Pigments. This is Falcon. So that's immediately something I'm hearing. So Falcon needs to loop. Let's just loop forward. But Falcon immediately sounds brighter. Okay, let's try Reason Grain. Oh, Reason detected the wrong pitch. E3. Is there a way to set that in Pigments? Because that's wrong in Pigments. Map. Sample map. Key map? No. Random. Oh, you can randomize like what sample is chosen? Sample map, key map. So how do I can't just tell this that there's, the pitch is C3. Oh, there we go. E3. Transpose, fine. Loop mode, forward. Okay, so now this should all be exactly the same. Minus Reason doesn't have a value for the length, but whatever. So I think Pigments is more, it has randomization applied. Or no, so the duration is only going up to that point, whereas Falcon, the playhead is moving. So the speed is set to 0 in Pigments. That's what's different between the two. Right? And then the jitter is all the way up. I don't know. That's not right. Maybe the density needs to just be up in Falcon. I don't know. I can't really tell. If I really sat here and fucked with it, we could do that, but I don't care. Okay, so Pigments, Falcon, Reason. So immediately to me, between these two, Reason is, or Pigments is wider than Reason. So in Reason, spread. Okay, so maybe not quite 100%. So in terms of stereo width, what about Falcon versus Pigments? I really messed something up in Falcon. Oh, the density. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would still pick Falcon's engine. So let's just try and make the best like granular sound we can, and then compare without any effects. Like if I was just straight up making a sound. Okay, so I think that all sounds pretty similar. Let's do one more comparison here. There we go. So now Reason, those two sound almost identical. Falcon is not as wide. Is there, I don't think there's a way in Falcon though to do like a stereo. Excuse me, stereo spread. Position, voices, yeah. So Falcon can't go as wide, but you know, I don't really think that's a big deal. Okay. So let's do the same test. Let's do 6 notes. So what I'm testing right now, just in case you're not aware, I'm going to test how efficient it is, how much system resources is it going to use to play a 6-note chord in the granular mode with a roughly equivalent sound to it, I should say. Jesus. Oh, I forgot to put a limiter on the end. Sorry. Let's throw a limiter on that. Okay. So first up is Pigments. So that's a lot. That's pretty heavy. Falcon. Better, but not by much. Reason. No way. Reason wins? Okay. Huh. I would have not thought that. But I don't think Reason has multiple grains, though, is the thing. I think Reason is just using one grain that moves around a lot. Or no, because there's multiple grains indicated here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, but is it actually that many grains happening? That's the hard thing. So now I suppose, considering that, let's see what sounds better between Pigments and Reason. Let's do 3 voices. Pigments is louder. Let's try and fix that. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to randomize these a bit. You guys can have your vote. Let's see. Let's do a chat first. I have an M.2 drive and 32 more gigs of RAM I need to install this weekend. Yeah, that sounds right. No, I'm going to be doing another SSD. I've got a PCIe USB 3.0 adapter because my motherboard has a bent pin in the USB 3.0 header. So I bought a PCIe adapter to put that in. And then I bought a new 5 1/4 drive of just USB 3 slots. With one that's a 2 amp charger as well for my camera batteries. Christopher Leader, the Grid versus Max for Live, which has more uses? I would probably argue Max for Live if I had to pick between the two. What I'm really waiting for with the Grid, honestly, because like I love voltage modular a lot, but what I'm really waiting for with the Grid is a MIDI out. And once that happens, I think the Grid is going to be a lot more powerful. Versus Bitwig sampler on textures mode. Okay. We can do that. So now we gotta try and make this sound sort of equivalent to Pigments. Okay, so whoops. Let's see if we can make that sound sort of the same. Okay, so really quickly, let's do that same test of, let's just do 3 notes. So Pigments, Falcon, Reason, Bitwig. So Bitwig is like ever so slightly more efficient than Reason, but again, not as wide. I don't know that there's a way to do stereo spread within Bitwig as well. Okay, let's let me randomize these around a bit, just so you guys can't see. And then let's try and vote to see who the granular winner is. After we catch up on chat once again. Consider getting PreSonus Studio One 4.6 if Cubase is getting on your tits. Actually, that is why I switched to Bitwig. But I have heard very good things about Studio One, and I may try Studio One out in the future. I should not have been pouring that left-handed because I about dumped all of that just directly onto my keyboard. But yeah, no, Studio One does seem really, really nice. Congrats, you just got me to got 244 on Falcon. Yeah, no, for sure. Falcon's badass. Absolutely done with DRM and music software. Nearly refunded Avenger 5 minutes after buying it after forcing new DRM. Yeah, dude, I don't like when there's like extra DRM stuff. iLok, like, I understand the need for DRM. I really do. I really do understand that, and I get it. iLok, I don't like. I understand it, and I will deal with iLok. I've had a lot of issues with iLok, but I think by and large, iLok is kind of okay. Like, I get it. It sucks, but that's probably the one that's given me the least amount of headaches. It's always that, though. It's that proprietary third-party bullshit DRM that always just, like, drives me absolutely goddamn insane because it's always broken. It never works. Like the Ben and Gear video about Contact and Falcon. That was the exact same issue I had with fucking Contact. It just kept saying like it's not licensed, and it's like, yes, it is. And yeah, like it's always that proprietary stupid stuff that just breaks all the time. Thinking about buying either Falcon or Reason, what would you go with? Because what is Falcon right now with 30% off? Okay, Falcon. Hey, I know that guy. So is it 244 bucks? So 244 bucks, and does it Does the sale come with some expansions or anything? I think it always comes with the voucher is the deal that always comes with it. Do I get free vouchers? No? Okay. So 244 bucks versus 399. So 349 versus 399. If we did this at absolute full price, on sale, I would say Falcon. However, Reason comes with a lot. And Europa especially is really, really damn nice. Grain, Maelstrom. That's hard. And you also get all the effects, but Falcon also has like what, 80 some effects, 84, something like that. This is 29. And Reason has some really, really nice effects though. Falcon does too, but Reason has some really nice ones. Effects players, because you could do... Okay. You know, I'm kind of stumped on that one. I suppose in terms of just accessibility and the amount of instruments and content you get, Reason is a pretty good buy. In terms of just sheer power, Falcon wins, I would say. But I mean, you know, that's a hard question because it also comes down to just like what are you looking to do specifically? You know what I mean? Cubase 10.5, major fucking problems for me. Doesn't load correct plugins on project files like random instruments, jumping DAW ship. Oh, really? See, I have 10 point, or no, I have 10. I don't think, I didn't do 10.5 because I have Bitwig now. So I have 10 and I've never had anything like that. But I don't know. 10.5 seems okay, but I'd love to hear what kind of stuff Falcon can do with granular. In just a sec, since the stream's probably almost over, I'll pull up a cool project file for you. Max for Live is more analogous to Reactor than it is the Grid. Yeah, for sure. Is it me or does Ableton sound flatter than other DAWs? Process things more if I decide to mix down on it. I mean, audio is audio, but, you know, not going to get into that here. Turn the filter off so we can hear the granular alone. Yeah, there's no filters on anything. At least that I'm aware of. The filter on Bitwig is off. Filter on Reason is off. Filter on Pigments, off. Filter on Falcon. There's no filter on Falcon. Okay. So all the filters are off before we do this. I'm just making sure there's not anything else we can answer in chat. Omnipoint Studios. Hey, sexy, love your vids. Bitwig. Hello. Sorry, I'm just going to kind of skip through chat here. The more invasive DRM is, the more pirates are going to break it. Yep. I'm going to skip some of these like this versus this for now. Reason still has problems with 4K screens. I saw that on the forums a bit. Yeah, I heard about that, but I think they're working on an update for that. Yeah, it's been proven there's no difference in audio. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that here. I'm going to rant for like 6 hours because I've already had like a bottle of wine and a half. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do a test here. And my screen was up that whole time, so I'm going to randomize these again. and we will have a vote in the chat and then do maybe a couple more questions. And then I will pull up a cool Falcon granular thing for a tutorial I filmed the other day. Well, it's Falcon and Reason combined, I should mention. Okay. Let's go ahead. Are you guys ready? Everyone ready to vote? We're going to do 4 different granular engines with the new pigments included in there. Whoops. We're going to do 4 granular engines and compare them and see who is the winner. Scarlet Dawn, hey, how's it going? Reason Rack does have MIDI out. Yes, it does, and that's kind of one of the things I think gives it the advantage over the grid, especially for the time being. And I have like 1,000 notifications on my phone. Okay, let's do the vote. Okay, ready? So this is number 1. I'm just gonna hold a, let's just do an A5. This is number 2. This is 3. And this is number 4. We'll go through those one more time. Make sure the filter's off in Pigments. It is. I can't show which one it is right now, but yeah, both filters are completely bypassed. Let's go through these again. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Well, it ain't 4. Turn 2 down. It's the loudest. Let's see. Yeah, we could turn that down like, I don't know, a dB or 2. Number 3 needs to go down like half a dB. Oh, no, 4 needs to go down. Damn it. 4 needs to go down just a bit more. Okay, one last one, and then we're going to do a final vote. So number 1. Two. 3. And 4. Okay, let me put a comment in really quick just so we can tally up a final vote there. Let's do votes. Let's do votes in that format. Cast your final votes. If you want to hear them one more time, I will do that, but we'll cast our final votes now. Let's see what you guys pick out of all 4 of those. And it sure ain't 4. Turn off the effects. There are no effects. This is just the raw granular engine. There's no reverb, no delay, no filters, no nothing. Seems like most people are going with 2. 4 is Bitwig, yep. 2, 3. So it seems like 3 and 2 are the winners. Okay. 3. We'll do another, I don't know, minute or 2 of votes here. 3 and then 2. 2 and then 1. Okay. Another for 2. 2 and 3. A green. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 2 is worst. Repetitive. Drone. Two and 3. All right, we'll give this another minute of voting here, and then I will reveal what you guys picked. Another for 3. I should get my notebook out. Oh, so I can tally this. Oh my god, my fucking back hurts. Okay, so I'm going to tally out the votes here. So we got 1 for 2. And then another for 3. 2. 2 is the worst. And then 2 and 3. 3, 2. 3.14 pi. And then a final vote. We'll call that the final vote from Stu for 3. So the winner is 2. I need a stream bot. I know. I need a bot. I'm using paper over here like an asshole. The winner is... Someone give me a drum roll in chat. That's a brave one. Guesses. 1 is Falcon, 2 is Pigments, 3 is Grain, 4 is Bitwig. Okay, ready? Who's ready to find out? Someone, you gotta give me the drum roll. I don't know how to type that. I guess just D. Or everyone just type the word fuck again. I don't care. I can do what I want. The winner is... I'm waiting for my drum roll. Someone's got to do it. Turfer, turfer. Turfer, and the winner is Reason. Believe it or not, Reason was number 2. Number 1 was Falcon. Number 2 was Reason. 3 is Pigments, and 4, as everyone guessed, is Bitwig. But with voice stacking, we can go up to 5. So I wonder if that gives Bitwig a chance. Fuck. Shit balls ass fuck. Okay. So I guess let's try Bitwig with voice stacking. So 2 was the clear-cut winner, closely followed by Pigments. So let's try Reason versus Pigments versus Bitwig one more time with voice stacking enabled. Yeah, man, those... I don't know that I could tell you the difference between those two. Other than maybe I'm hearing very slightly more high-end content in Reason, but not by much. Okay, so this randomization needs to be even more. Okay, so that sounds a little bit closer. So what about Falcon versus Bitwig? Because those two don't have stereo panning of the grains. So this is slightly louder. Still slightly louder. So outside of not having stereo spread, and I'm sure this doesn't come through on the quality of a stream, but Falcon still sounds smoother to me. That's the only word I can think to describe it. Let me just hold down a single note. Maybe like a low note. Yeah, there you can definitely hear it. Falcon. But I think it's because the grain duration is only 300 versus 500 in Falcon. So let's fix that. Not 3200, 300. To me, it just, I don't know, there's something about the between the grains you just can't hear as much. Yeah, still. Yeah, Falcon beats Bitwig. But man, yeah, no, I think you guys are right. Reason is kind of the winner. Yeah, I would still vote Reason for sure. Gotta upgrade Reason. No, Grain and Reason is badass. I really like it. Bitwig is workable, has character. For sure. No, you could definitely, I mean, you could definitely use Bitwig's little granular mode for that. I've used it for a bunch of sound design stuff. I think it's a great little engine. Certainly an improvement on the sampler in Ableton. Grain is no joke. It really isn't, dude. Grain is a badass. I love Grain from Reason. Voted to 3 sound like it had more movement. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know, it's just hard to pick. Like, between Reason and Pigments, it's very, very close. What about a really high note? I would still argue Pigments sounds wider overall, but I don't know, that's something I really would care about realistically. Pigments for 50 bucks, I'm in. For sure. No, for 50 bucks, if you can get it for that price. Test is already flawed because there aren't any transients. Yeah, we can do that. Let's grab, let's do one more. Let's just get a, actually, I have just a set of noises. There we go. So the settings will port over. We just drag in a new sample. So I think we already, have our winners picked out here. But let's try it. Okay, so Falcon. Oh yeah, so Reason. I think the thing with pigments is the grain window is a triangle, so we need to go with, I'm just going to call that turkey. Even then, it's not. We need to set the pitch of this to C3. I would still say grain sounds the best, though. I wish Falcon had stereo spread. I would pick Falcon if it had that width to it. But I do like the definition that grain gives it. Omnisphere, granular. I don't know. I don't have Omnisphere. Would be nice to see a walkthrough of Pad Shop 2. I don't have Pad Shop 2, unfortunately. I just have regular old Pad Shop Pro. Falcon's like an expensive hooker for PC resources. It can be pretty intense when you really get after it, but I think the sound of Falcon is worth it. Falcon is working it, girl. Haven't met a hardcore Reason user in 10 years. Yeah, I only have a handful of folks I know that use Reason as a DAW, but I am very, very happy that the folks at Reason Studios released the Reason 11 VST because I think it's badass. Pigments is not bad at all. No, I can't complain. I think it's pretty decent. How was Pigments on the CPU? Yeah, we did a couple CPU tests here really quickly. Out of the three, Pigments and Falcon, they're pretty neck and neck. Just to show you guys my system. So I'm using an i7 6700K with a slight overclock, and then 32 gigs of RAM. So Falcon, Pigments, Reason. So Reason's definitely winning. Pigments is just slightly more expensive than Falcon. But I suppose ultimately if you bounce that to audio, that's largely irrelevant. What number was Reason? Reason was number 2, and 2 was the winner. Reason sounds pleasant like a polished bitwig. Yeah, I could see that. Pigment CPU is horrendous. I would say, yeah, it's a bit heavy for what you're getting out of it. But, you know, I think it sounds good. What about Quanta? No idea. I used Reason from 2001 up to 2014, then switched to Studio One and never looked back. Reason is poor in CPU usage in comparison. Yeah, I messed with Reason as a DAW for a little bit. Once they sent me the Reason 11 license, I personally wouldn't use it, but I think that was mostly because like I had just mostly started transitioning to Bitwig at the time, so it's like I didn't really want to sit down and learn like another DAW. But I think Reason's cool. I like the modular approach to it. And honestly, Reason, at least to me, it almost seems like the OG form of Bitwig, if that makes sense. Like it gives you that Bitwig approach of like modulate whatever you want, but just like an earlier version of that, but in Reason's own kind of special way of doing things. And I think Reason's capable of a lot of really cool stuff. It's just, you know, a bit of work to get there. Pigments is dope. Trying to talk myself out of getting it. Yeah, no, I think it's badass, especially on the sale price. Not bad. Hate sounds. Hello, smiley face. Hello. Picked up Pigments for $100. Do you all think the upgrade is worth it? I bought it last year Made 0 songs with it. The Pigments upgrade is free. Yeah, so yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but like if you go to the website for whatever reason, and I'm signed into my account, so I have a bunch of Arturia products, but if I'm signed into my account, it still wants me to pay $69. But if you go to the Arturia Software Center thingy, it's free. I got the update for free that way. I don't know why it's asking me to pay on their website though. Agree reason for the win, more detailed texture. Pigments 2 versus Phase Plant. Talked a little bit about this earlier. I don't really know that there's a direct way to compare them. Because the biggest thing to me with Pigments would be the included feature of a quantizer to do, I guess, I don't know what you would call that, semi-generative stuff. Beyond that, the advantage of Phase Plant certainly is its more semi-modular approach. I think the advantage of Pigments over Phase Plant is the immediacy of using it. Pigments is similar to Serum in that it gives you a dedicated interface and a dedicated set of functions and features that you can then utilize to create something within Pigments. Phase Plant is more open to your imagination. So if you're perhaps not as experienced in patching sounds together, I would argue you would probably get more mileage out of Pigments in the immediate future than you would Phase Plant. However, if you are more experienced in synthesis and sound design, Phase Plant would ultimately be the better buy. And that's a similar argument to Phase Plant versus Falcon. You know, Falcon's very, very powerful, and Phase Plant is also very, very powerful, but you know, it just depends on how much time and effort you're willing into putting into something, as well as your limitations of your knowledge in terms of sound design and synthesis. You know, if you want to really get deep with it, Falcon and Phase Plant and Reason are really goddamn deep. But you know, Pigments is a lot more pick up and go. You know what I mean? Arturia Software Center is tweaking out. Yeah, I think that's what I was. Oh my god, my back hurts. I think that's what I saw on Twitter earlier today. People talking about updating from Pigments to Pigments 2, and the Software Center wasn't working. And I had that as well. It was like frozen for a minute, and it took a long time. But I don't know. Maybe give it a day or two if it's just not working. I recall quantizers in the works for Phase Plant. That might be. I didn't get a chance to watch the Kilohertz stream because I was busy working on tutorials and stuff the other day. But a quantizer would be dope in Phase Plant. And if that is the case, and also some other stuff I'm not sure I'm allowed to say, because I do the beta testing for Kilohertz. So yeah, with a quantizer and some of the other features I've heard them talk about and some of the other features that are coming out, I would still go Phase Plant myself. But, you know, Pigments I think is a damn good deal, especially if you can get it cheap, like, you know, 50, 60 bucks. Pretty good synth. Do you think Native Instruments will get more creative with Massive X after seeing all the other innovative synths that came out this year? I don't want to comment too heavily on Native Instruments, you know, just for future relationships. I mean, besides the fact that I can't fucking stand the licensing system, I don't know. Massive X, I was not impressed with. It wasn't something that I was immediately like, I need to demo and or buy that. Massive X really did not show me anything that I was like, oh my god, I totally need that. I think Massive X is a definite improvement and something that was really needed to keep Native Instruments ultimately relevant in the scene anymore, but I don't think Massive X had anything that would draw me to it. You know, there's not anything within Massive X that I can't do in Phase Plant. You know what I mean? Besides a handful of operations, but to my workflow, those are all largely irrelevant. But, you know, I think Native Instruments make some cool stuff, but I think there was like a bunch of layoffs and stuff too, wasn't there? And I don't know, like, if I was Native Instruments, I would probably focus on FM8 too, but combining Massive X with FM8 and something like that. I don't know. Perhaps integrating all of that into a Contact type of thing as well. If you gave me Contact 7 that was something similar to Falcon, I would probably be all over that. I have very fond memories of Contact. I've used Contact for a very long time. Some of the first tutorials I did on this channel were about how much I fucking love Contact. But yeah, I think Native Instruments needs to, pick things up and get their head in the game a bit, because there's a lot of really good stuff out there anymore. Pigments might be more for me than Faceplant, less study curve, more better price. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing, like I said too, is just the immediacy factor. Like Pigments would be a lot faster to get something really going with than it would in Faceplant, but I think Faceplant is ultimately more powerful, especially, like I said, with other stuff coming out. I have Massive X, almost forgot about it. Controversial opinion. I like Massive X, and like I said, like Massive X, it's got some stuff, but I don't know how to put it, but like when you ask someone in my position where I have access to like a shitload of incredible synthesizers, Massive X would have to have a lot of really goddamn good features for me to jump over to it. If I didn't have things like Falcon and Faceplant and Pigments and the V collection and like all the stuff that I do have, I think Massive X is a very good and very capable synthesizer. It's very powerful. It does a lot of cool shit. But having access to the stuff I do, I wouldn't bother with it. But again, that's just me, and your situation is going to be entirely different. I agree they dropped the ball. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like I said, I like Native Instruments. I like the company. I like the stuff they do. I just think they need to, I think they need to just do it. You know what I mean? Massive X will grow, give it time. Yeah, and there's a couple updates, I think that are probably in the works that will make Massive X a lot better. But yeah. To the extent it matters, I dropped 244 on the live stream base. Falcon strictly on the recommendation. For sure, man. I mean, Falcon's the shit. I can't complain about Falcon at all, really. FM8 is the only NI I still use. Yeah, no, and that was the thing. For a long time, FM8 was the only thing that kept me coming back to Native Instruments. After I got Falcon, that replaced Contact for me entirely for obvious reasons. Massive has largely been out of date to me for a long time. I mean, Dune 3 is basically Massive now, but better, I would argue, because you can make your own wavetables and stuff. But once I got Faceplant, that was kind of like the ultimate thing to me, because one of the synths I've wanted for a very long time is Citrus from FL Studio, and like Kilohertz came along with Faceplant and gave me the power I wanted from Citrus of, creating a FM synthesizer that I could also draw on my own wavetables and stuff for, or waveforms rather, with an additive or partial editing engine. And I can also add more stuff than Citrus can do within Faceplant. So, Faceplant's a goddamn good purchase anymore. What exactly is Falcon? I have a really, really in-depth Falcon video. There's other videos out there as well. Falcon is a hybrid and synth sampler, similar to Pigments. So if we crack open Falcon here, so within Falcon, I already have a granular thing going, right? I could also drag in an analog, which would be very similar to this is something I could create inside of Pigments. So let's actually do that. So I'm going to go to Engine 2. I'm going to turn it on, and we'll turn it to Wavetable, and we'll put the position to a square wave. And there's a square. So this is Falcon. So this is a granular synth combined with a just straight up analog, virtual analog synth. and this is Pigments. And that's pretty much a very, very low-level summary of Falcon. It's just a sampler and a synth, but Falcon also, Falcon 2 actually added a new engine as well. So you get an additive synthesizer, analog stack, which is just 8 voices, so you can create big detuned things. Drums, you get a drum modeling oscillator. FM, which is a basic 4-operator FM matrix. Noise, organ, pluck, which is a physical modeling, and wavetable, which has a whole bunch of wavetables and stuff inside of it. Falcon is also incredibly powerful in that it's pretty much entirely semi-modular. You can add a absolute shitload of modulation to whatever you want. Very, 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 very powerful stuff. Don't hurt me, but I think Massive X sounds better than Phase Plant sound engine. Yeah, I do like some of the sounds I've heard out of Massive X. I will give it that. Sharp End, another YouTube channel I watch all the time, he's done some really, really great videos with Massive X. I just want Guitar Rig 6. Yeah, I do like Guitar Rig. I will give him that. Native Instruments is held back because it wants to appeal so much to the prosumer market, trying to raise the bar far above that. I would say that's a pretty accurate assessment. And that's what I like about what Arturia is doing with like the V collection stuff is, you know, they're giving people something that I think they can grow into. And I think that's, you know, a good thing about Pigments is accessible, similar to something like Serum or Massive, but it also has a lot of extra features that, you know, for someone who's maybe relatively new to synthesis and production, you could learn quite a bit from Pigments. You know, you could learn about generative and, you know, sample and hold and Turing and things like that, and, you know, how to do stuff with multiple filters within a synth patch and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I think Pigments is pretty damn good. Phase Plant whoops Massive X in terms of features and versatility, though. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing to me is like, I would just say Phase Plant, hands down, it does so much that would be my choice regardless. Phase Plant or Falcon, I've answered that like 20,000 times. But again, it just apples and oranges, you know. I mean, Phase Plant and Falcon are just trying to do 2 entirely different things. And I, you know, would say both are kind of necessary to some degree. I have not tried Avenger, though. I've been meaning to maybe do a demo, like a live stream like this of a thing with Avenger, but we'll see. Most underrated VST is definitely Rapid. Yeah, no, Rapid's badass. So yeah, we've been going for about 2.5 hours here, and I think we've strayed relatively far from Pigments. But I think I showed, you know, what I wanted to talk about with it. So yeah, I think that might do it for the stream. Callie, do you have anything you would like to add? Do you want to show everyone your sweater? Come here. I know. You're not allowed to go out there, though, because she's filming, bud. Do you want to show everyone your sweater? Okay, I guess not. Yeah, she's just over there, you know, being mad. Do you listen to the Flashbulb? I do. Yeah, I've listened to Flashbulb for a minute. I watch the Ben and Gear channel as well. I think he's a pretty cool dude. He's going to be at NAMM as well, so my goal is to like walk over and be like, hi. Any chance there'll be future videos on becoming a sound designer, making career living in a sound designer? Yeah, no, I'm probably going to do some more stuff like that. I did one video about it, and I do get questions about that all the time. So I'm probably going to do another video about, I don't know, just like resources for learning stuff and all those kinds of things. But yeah. Avenger is cool, but Vengeance has a shitty anti-consumer approach to their customers. Yeah, no, like, I think Avenger looks really cool, but, you know, especially with Falcon and Reason and stuff, like, and Phase Plant as well, like, you know, again, it's just one of those things. It's like, to me, it's just another VST. You know, I have stuff that does everything that Avenger's going to do, just in a different way. What does Rapid do? I have a pretty big review of Rapid as well. You can check that out. But Rapid is basically a Novation peak with 8 peaks built into it. It's really, really cool. Later, dude. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Time for bed. Yeah, not quite. It's not even 9 o'clock, and I haven't even had dinner yet. I'm going to make a pizza and go hang out with Alicia for a bit. But I am going to run to the bathroom very quickly, and we can wrap this up with maybe a few more questions. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll be right back. Okay. I feel better. Show them the CMI Easter egg. We could do that really quick. I have Callie up here. How you doing, Callie? So the CMI Easter egg, let me make sure this is going to show up on my screen. Okay. So if you type Arturia on the keyboard.
C'est bien, Neil, super pour le faire live. Génial.
That's it. Which I think is great. Arturia V collection, totally dope. CMI V is fun and sounds good on synthwave. It really is a fun synth. I like playing around with it. Do you want to show everyone your sweater you got for your birthday? Remember your birthday? You had such a happy birthday. You got a cake. Mom made you cake. You got treats and toys and a cool sweater. So this is her sweater, in case anyone wants to know. It says Bougie Princess, because she is a princess. And she just brushed her teeth, so she doesn't smell terrible. Haven't had a chance to bust into the CMI yet. It's really cool. The CMI is pretty badass. It's a really deep thing. It's also got a resynthesis thing that's pretty fun. Should have gone through the V collection more before getting into Phase Plan and Falcon. Yeah, V collection, though, is kind of a totally different ball game. Hello, Callie. Thank you for kisses. Yeah, V collection's really, really cool, but, you know, totally different ball game than what Falcon and Phase Plan are trying to do. What's the main feature you're missing in Bitwig? Right now, my main things I'm missing in Bitwig would probably be vocal comping, vocal tuning, and normalization. Those are things I need to open Audacity for. Like normalization, I have to open Audacity for all the time when I'm doing sample packs and sound design. Vocal comping and stuff. Hello, bud. Yeah, vocal comping, I would really like to see that implemented. I usually use Cubase for tracking vocal sessions anymore. And yeah, vocal tuning, I use the Reason 11 Neptune, I think is what it's called, the vocal tuner within Reason. That's what I use right now, but, you know, hopefully Bitwig implements that. Because I saw Bitwig, you know, the new update has the tuning stuff in it and whatever, and I was a little disappointed. Callie. She's a brat. But yeah, I was a little disappointed Bitwig didn't give some kind of like vocal tuning system like what Cubase has with Very Audio. Anything new in Analog Lab 4? There's nothing new in Analog Lab 4 that I know of. Besides, I think it has some Pigments presets in it, and it's got some effects, stuff that you can do, a handful of other things, but I don't know, nothing I was really like, oh my god. I actually uninstalled Analog Lab just because it took up too much space, and I have V Collection, so I don't really need Analog Lab. Why not use Very Audio? Yeah, that's what I use. Like when I do big vocal tracking sessions, I'll actually just open Cubase to do that, just because it's a bit more suited to that, for the time being at least. Hi, buddy. How are you? So I guess we will leave this open for a couple more minutes in case anyone has any questions, and then it's time for me to go make dinner. And I think Callie wants to go out and visit Alicia. Your dog is dope as fuck. She is. Aren't you, bud? Are you a dope lady? You're a dope lady. Do you have anything to say about Pigments? Who do you think was the winner with the granular engine? Did you notice any variation in the pitch difference? Any indication that one engine was better than the other? Yeah. Do you like squirrels? You don't care about squirrels. You want your bunnies? Bunnies outside. Callie, your bunnies are outside. She knows about bunny rabbits. They live out in our woods out there, and she wants to kill them. But I'm not sure, because she's also like really scared of everything. So like I don't know what Callie would do if she actually caught a rabbit, because I don't think she makes that connection that the rabbit is like alive and it's a thing. So I'm not sure that she quite understands. You just like to give kisses and lay on the couch in your sweater, don't you? That's right. Do you use many Bitwig stock devices? Mostly what I use, I don't know, I use the EQ a lot, but, you know, it's just like a straight up EQ. I use the grid here and there, just to create some random stuff, if I'm just feeling like using the grid that day. Beyond that, there's not too many Bitwig stock devices that I use all the time. The compressor I use quite a bit, but it's just a straight up compressor. There's nothing too special about it that I really go after. Yeah, not really. The biggest thing I utilize in Bitwig in terms of like stock functionality is the modulators. Like I love applying modulators to things. I think that's kind of the big draw to me for Bitwig. Are you being a brat? Are you showing everyone your ears? You have very nice ears. She's getting so mad. Not tried Very Audio, Polyphony. Yeah, no, Very Audio is really, really nice. I really like that engine. Melodyne is very, very good too, though. Melodyne's kind of, you know, one of the big ones in the game, especially, you know, like considering auto-tune as well. So yeah, I guess we'll leave this open for a couple more minutes in case anyone has any remaining questions about Pigments or life in general, because Callie's getting frustrated. Are you ready for dinner, buddy? We're gonna have pizza. You want bunny rabbit? Where's your bunnies at? Your bunny's outside. Like she's tired and wants to go lay on her couch. My dog used to growl at things in the room at night in complete darkness and used to scare the shit out of me. Yeah, Callie doesn't really have invisible killer thing from hell syndrome, but she does every once in a while just go out and bark at nothing. Hi, bud. She'll go out and bark at nothing, but we'll look out and we'll see that it's like a bird or a rabbit or a squirrel or a cat or something. But I don't know. I don't know if she just has like those beagle, you know, smelling powers or what, but she'll just start barking. And it's something, you know, way out there that we don't even see. What's the meaning of it? Life. The meaning of life is 42. Oh, do you use any sample managers? I actually, I just did a video, I don't know what day it is. low-key gonna look at my computer. Today is Friday, so I did a video yesterday that was about Loop Cloud 5, which is actually what I've been using to do sample management, because Loop Cloud has kind of a built-in sample management sorting thing. Okay, you can sit down. Go on, buddy. So Loop Cloud 5 has sample management stuff, which is what I've been using, and it's actually been really, really handy. What's your favorite sidechain plugin, or do you use compression? For sidechaining, I just use the Bitwig compressor. That's kind of my go-to for sidechain stuff. Pretty, boring answer. But, I've never really found a need for a third-party sidechaining thing. I just use the built-in Bitwig one, and before that, I just used the built-in Cubase compressor for sidechain stuff. What are you looking for, Callie? You didn't finish brushing your teeth, but I still see toothpaste on that. Speaking of, there's a random thing I should tell you guys about if you have a dog. I was on Amazon the other day, and I actually found this, which, gross, it's covered in hair. This is a dog toy, but it's also a toothbrush, and you can put toothpaste down in the middle there, or just, on the sides, and they'll, chew on it and whatever. It's a toothbrush. It's the greatest thing ever. So you can actually just play with your dog, and it'll brush their teeth. And I was like, that's brilliant, because Callie hates brushing her teeth. What controller were you using? Is that an Arturia? Yes, so my main MIDI controller is right there. That is an Arturia Keylab 61 Mark II. So that is my main MIDI controller, and I absolutely love that. I would argue this is probably the best MIDI controller out there. I really, really adore this thing. I love the feel of the keys. I love the functionality. I really love the integration with V Collection and Analog Lab. And then in terms of modulation and stuff, you get a whole suite of faders and pots and stuff that you can assign to whatever you want. Do you use mouthwash before or after you brush? I use mouthwash after I brush. My aunt is a dentist and would routinely remind me how to brush my teeth. And I also floss. I floss all the time because flossing is important. And my aunt, who's a dentist, always said, you only floss the ones you want to keep. People use Lfo and Volume Shaper. Yeah, so my thing with Lfo tool and Volume Shaper is that they're only consistent, and I can use a sidechain to trigger when a specific event happens, whether that's a kick or a snare or whatever. Beyond that, you can also use compressors to set up multi-band sidechain compression. So in the case of, let's say like a vocal and a like a string sound or something, like if you're doing like a random pop production or something else in a similar vocal frequency range, you can use a sidechain compressor to duck out things only when the vocal is occurring. Similar to what you may do with a reverb, you might duck out the reverb or delay signal on a vocal when the actual vocal is taking place. So yeah, that's a pro tip for you. Envelope tools instead of actual sidechain compression works for 4 to the floor beats. Yeah, for that exact same reason. Keylab good with Bitwig. Keylab's good with any DAW. I don't know any DAW that wouldn't be good with the Keylab. I think it's a badass MIDI controller. My dog would chew up that cactus toothbrush. Neat idea, though. Yeah. No, if your dog destroys things, this is probably not a good idea. But I mean, it's pretty tough. Like in terms of destroying. Callie's not really a big destroyer, though. Have you ever been naked in front of a stranger? Have I ever been naked in front of a stranger? I like that I leave this open for random questions. I'm not sure what's more concerning, the fact that I'm not sure or how long it's taken me to answer this question. Actually, yeah. Yeah, no, I've been naked in front of strangers. That's a whole separate story, though. Devious Machines Duck. I've not. I've heard of Devious Machines, though. LFO tool works. Other than that, you need control. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, like I said, whenever I'm doing sidechain stuff, it's specifically based on an audio or MIDI event rather than just, a specific 1, 2, 3, 4 type of thing. Do most software understand samples in FLAC or not? I can write a thing that allows storing samples FLAC, but present them as wave. I suppose that just depends on whatever it is. FLAC is not generally regarded as the most universal format, although it is a bit more space efficient than wave. So, I don't really know. It just depends on whatever it is. I would always argue that wave and MP3 are going to be more widely supported regardless than FLAC will, at least for the time being. Define stranger. Yeah, are we talking like strangers technically, or they didn't buy me dinner first? Yeah, no, that's a whole other story. Maybe that'll be a series on the channel at some point, just like Wine Time with Cameron, where I tell random tales about my life. Ballin, referring to the flossing. Naked in front of strangers, military and yeah, no, there have been some interesting chapters of my life, that's for sure. But anyways, yeah, so I think that does it. Back on the main subject, that was a very long and random stream about Arturia Pigments too. So yeah, it's a free update if you already own Pigments. If you don't have it, it is $69 or less or more if you own other Arturia products. You can sign into your Arturia account to find out what offer you get. Sounds like some people are getting it for about $50. I don't know how or what the cross-grade offer is specifically. Beyond that, it's $99 to get it if you don't have it at all. And then after the sale ends on January, open my thing here, January 7th, it will be $199. 69. Yeah, so that is Pigments too. I think it's cool. It's got a lot of stuff. Not a bad deal. Have you ever been late to a late night latex club in Berlin? I have not. In Berlin. Good night, bro. Yep, later, guys. See you, my dude. Gonna catch up on your videos for sure. But yeah, guys, so that does it for Pigments 2. I can't say that I'm really going to do any tutorials or further videos on it, but I don't know, maybe if there's enough requests or whatever, I might consider doing it. Callie, are you ready to go visit your mom? It doesn't sound like she's out there filming anymore. You ready to go hang out, have pizza, go night-night, chase bunnies, go potty outside like good girl? You don't know. You don't know what's going on. You're just happy to be here. Give me 5. Fucking denied. Wow. Later, Mang. The law shall resume on Discord for sure. Good times. So yeah, I think that does it, guys. So that is Arturia Pigments 2. That is Callie the dog. She's a good girl, but won't give me a high five. One more try. Can I have high five? Give me 5. No? I love you. Can I have high five? Nope. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this stream, guys. So thanks for hanging out. Happy Friday. Hope you have a good evening, and I will catch you guys again soon.